We analysed the mass data set proprietary information on 500 million companies using data science and models. I think it's important to say that the vast majority of companies or shell companies are formed for legitimate business purposes. That said, Europol reported last year 80% of criminal networks do use legal business structures. So we applied data science, a vast proprietary data set on 500 million companies to really drill into those 7 risk flags, giving people an early warning indicator to look into potential shell company activity, crack open, look inside and see who's behind that for investigation purposes.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room here, the war in Ukraine. How has that changed the risk perception and the risk profile?
Yeah, we've seen movement of companies linked to the UK and other low-risk jurisdictions with new higher-risk ownership links. So people owning and controlling companies in traditional higher-risk jurisdictions. The UK has 1 million of those flags. That's about 6% of the UK business population. So traditional low-key environments, but with ownership and control in high-risk jurisdictions. And we've seen more of that movement from Russia into other high-risk jurisdictions, owning companies in lower-risk regions.
But we are seeing, on balance, a lot of legislation coming through to stop that type of behavior. We're seeing the U.S. Corporate Transparency Act of 2023. We saw big legislation coming out of Switzerland. But when there is legislation, there's usually a couple of loopholes. How robust is this legislation? You're
absolutely right. You need definitions, you need legislation, but you also need gatekeepers, those that protect the system. And unfortunately, whilst the majority of those are good actors, there are some vulnerabilities in those systems. So whilst waiting for the regulations to catch up, this model, this insight can help you get on the front foot and look deeper into what you perceive to be a low-risk company, crack it open, look who's behind that shell. So we are keen for more regulation and hopeful for that direction. Verification of data is coming in the EU and the UK, but in the time being, our customers are asking for something now to give them an early warning signal to look deeper and look faster into what's happening.
Yeah, we all remember the Panama Papers and what impact that had and the headlines that we saw splash across the world. And that led to a big plunge when it comes to the formation of the shell companies. Is that still very much in the minds of people and lawmakers?
Yeah, I think so. The UK has exported its regime of company formation worldwide. So if you sat in the Seychelles or BVI or other unfortunate location, then you can easily incorporate. It's very quick, in fact, probably too quick and too easy, quite frankly. So we are pushing for that verification. The UK has more data to analyse, which puts it on a pedestal. And then the UK company is still seen as a credible asset. You know, if you did want to make it difficult to trace money or hide the proceeds of crime, a UK incorporation gives you that veneer of legitimacy. So that's still really the case since Panama Papers through to today. So we do need more reforms and we need more data science to help us crack open these shell companies.